Hi there, it's Margot. I'm a professional tarot reader. Been reading tarot cards for over 27 years. I also have a free blog for people who are interested in tarot reading and learning about tarot cards, and it's free. The link is in my profile. So every now and again, I like to do an energy reading for those who are interested in tarot cards, and it's not aimed at anyone, any group, or anything in particular. It's just me laying out the cards and just reading them for a video on my social media. So I've chosen the John Dodal tarot deck. I had it for quite a while and it's become my favorite deck to use for my clients. So I have many tarot decks, but this one I've really grown attached to. So what I do after I shuffle the cards is I just fan them out face down and I choose three at random. So the ones I've drawn are the Seven of Wands, Temperance, and the Star. So the first thing I like to do is see if I've drawn any major arcana and minor arcana, like how many of each. So I see that I've drawn two. So I've gone through some big lessons learned. We call the majors kind of like karma cards. And karma is like those big life things that happen to you, and you learn a lot about yourself and you learn certain truths, and they're kind of like the big picture kind of cards. And it's also, you're removing some of the conditioning that you've had. For instance, if you've been raised to be a certain way, and as you grow older, you learn more about yourself and you remove some of those conditionings that have been imposed on you. So that's what these cards are really about. And then we have a minor card, and these are also called the pip cards. These are like the day-to-day cards, and they're more shorter term cards, where these are more big picture cards. So let's get started. So after I notice how many majors and minors I have two majors. So there's some big things that we've encountered and we have learned about ourselves. And then I look at the gaze of the human figures in the cards, and I see that Temperance and the Star are really looking at each other. So these two cards seem to really speak together and have been affected by some of the day-to-day things. Okay, so let's talk about reversals. Now, I've learned that a lot of my professional tarot reader friends tend not to put too much focus on the reversal, and I tend to agree. I just look at it as maybe just an extra layer of information, or just like, okay, this is the card according to your situation, but I feel like we need to be careful of certain things. And sometimes it's the gaze, where the gaze is pointing at. And in this certain reading, this is what is coming out to me. The two faces looking at each other, and they look like similar people. So that is really what is pointing out to me right now. So let's just get started. So I'm going to start with this card. My eye is drawn towards this card, and it's the Temperance card. And it resonates with the energy of four, which is a balance. Four elements of earth, water, fire, and air, all in equilibrium. However, because it's reversed, I'm only noticing it that it's really relating to this card because of the gaze that is apparent to me. So temperance is really about balancing. It's about taking some opposing ideas that are two very important, but we're just tempering them. We're just kind of mixing them, balancing out opposing forces, really thinking about like how we feel. Maybe we've been in the middle of a conflict and we're trying to see which side is right, but really it's really about finding a compromise, like trying to appease two opposing sides because they're both valid. They both have their benefits. Each side has a benefit, but each side also has its payoff or its cost. So it's kind of like a cost benefit analysis going on here. And the reason why we probably have to learn to do that is because we want to get to a point where we're at peace with ourselves. There's a lot of water happening here. So I feel like it has a lot to do with our emotions. Like two very emotional situations that are really tugging at our heartstrings. And we really have to listen to our intuition. So this is resonating. This is the star, and it's resonating with the number seven. And number seven relates to a leap of faith kind of thing. Like we really have to put our trust in ourselves and in our intuition. It's the number of planets that are visible to the naked eye and are not planets, sorry, heavenly bodies. The sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Beyond that is not visible to the naked eye. So it's kind of like we really have to start believing in ourselves. And when we overcome these opposing forces and learning how to balance them out, we really start to have more faith in ourselves. And we become a truer version of ourselves. We also develop an intuition. I'm really drawn to the bird in this card, and it's sitting on top of a golden tree. The yellow, the golden yellow, really resonates with me as ideas and sharpness and goal oriented. And this bird is really strengthening my intuition here. But what is causing all of this? And it's being affected by a day-to-day events where we are dealing with some petty instances on the job. Wands is a fire. It represents the fire element. It's our passions, it's our career choices, and it's about, sometimes it can be about conflicts that result in the workplace. And here we have six interlocking wands that are just deadlocked with each other. Whoops, sorry. That are deadlocked with each other. And this wand is trying to push through, and as it's pushing through, it's causing a ton of friction. And the flowers indicate, they look like sparks of fire that are coming out from this friction. So we have been in the middle of two opposing forces, and it has caused friction and it has caused discomfort. But as we learn to deal with these two opposing forces and working with them, we learn a lot about ourselves, and we learn to listen to our intuition and to find our answers and have more faith in our abilities. And that is an energy reading, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.